Hi, I'm Ruth Angelina, and this is Simply Made Fancy Bread Edition. Are you guys ready to make bread? I know. You can't make bread. It's too hard. Those sourdough people are crazy. But this is a super easy Italian crusty bread that anybody can do with what you have at home. If I can do it, you can do it. So in my research of finding the best crusty Italian bread, I found a couple of recipes on Pinterest and online that sounded good, but I needed to make something that worked for me and what I had at home. So I did a little tweaking and I figured it out. I'm gonna share the recipe so that you can make it yourself, and please do not be intimidated. Bread is not that difficult actually, and it's a lot of waiting mostly. These are all the ingredients that you're gonna need. See, not so hard. It's flour, that's 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I use a teaspoon of sugar. Then you're gonna do 2 teaspoons of salt. You're gonna need a packet of instant yeast, or if you buy, I have this packet, but you can also buy, the container of yeast and just use 1.5 teaspoons of instant yeast. And then you're gonna need some warm water. That's 1.5 cups of water. For equipment, what you need is a baking dish, some parchment paper. You'll need a little bit of extra flour, and then you'll need just another kind of, container or something. So when you put in the oven, you fill it with water so it can create like that moisture. So that's pretty much all that you will need. Now let me do step by step so you can learn how to make your own bread. In a standing mixer, you're gonna put your water, sugar, and yeast, and you're gonna let that bloom for about 5 minutes. Now you see that? This is exactly what you wanna see. Your yeast has bloomed, and now it's ready for you to add the other ingredients, the flour and the salt. Now I use a standing mixer with a bread hook, but if you don't have a standing mixer, you can, do it by yourself, just with a wooden spoon, mix it and knead it until it's ready to go. Now here's the dough. It's a little on the sticky, but not super sticky. If you find that your dough is too sticky, then just add a little bit more flour. This is kind of the consistency. If your flour is too dry, then you might need a little bit more water. And disclaimer, my dough hook has seen better days. I actually am ordering one that's stainless steel, but this is the one that came with my mixer, and now it's going out the door. But that's the dough, and now I'm going to take that and prepare it in an oiled bowl. I have my bowl here. I'm just gonna put some oil in it, and kind of like grease it a little bit so that my dough doesn't stick while it rises. Here's what the dough looks like. I'm just gonna roll it in a little ball, put it in that. I like to do this, just oil it a little bit on all sides. Then I put it there, and then I'm gonna cover it. You can either do a damp cloth or plastic wrap. Now the dough is ready for its first rise, and it's gonna take about 1 hour to 2 hours. Just chill, do some cleaning, do some reading, run to the grocery store, do other cooking things, and just let this baby sit for 1 to 2 hours. And then when you come back, you're gonna shape the dough. So this is the first rise, and then there's gonna be a second rise. This is the first rise. Then you're gonna put it, in a nice place, warm place. If you have an oven that's a smart oven or that's, it's a newer oven, they do have proof settings, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my dough in my proofer in my oven, and then it's just kind of like a warm, like, a mommy's belly, like nice and warm, so that the dough can rise properly. As you can see, I have my oven set on proof, so I will be doing it there. I set it while I was making the bread, and then now it's a perfect temperature for it to sit there for the next hour or two. The bread just finished proofing for the first rise, and now I'm gonna get ready to shape it and make it proof a second time for about 20 to 30 minutes, not too long, so it could just get that nice little shape, and then you can bake. Okay, so here I am, I have my pan. I'm gonna flour it a little bit. Too much. And then I got my dough. Just gonna make it into like a nice little ball. So right there. Now, if you have these, this is great. I just cut it in half. I can make 2 loaves. Now, if you want to make sure that they're precise and the same size, just, you can measure it with this. Okay, 15.5 and 13.6. So this one is a little bit bigger. Try to get it as even as possible. 14.1. 15. Just a little bit. Like 14.6. 14.5. Perfect. That's about it. So now, just gonna shape it. These will get bigger. I'm gonna cover it again with that plastic. Okay, so here we go. I have my 2 bread dough. We're gonna let it rise for 30 minutes. I'm gonna set my oven to 450, and once this does the second rise at 30 minutes, I can put it in the oven and bake for 30 minutes. 2 loaves after the second rise for 30 minutes. I'm just using my X-Acto knife. I changed the blade. I don't have any fancy equipment for it. And I'm just gonna score, like make 3 little scores there. Nothing fancy. Now my dough is ready to be put in the oven for baking. And the secret trick to making it crusty, this crusty bread, is to put a pan of water so that the steam can create that crusty layer on the bread. That's gonna make it so delicious. Other versions of this bread is you can put herbs inside or cheese and mix it all together and then do that as well. So you can, make a rosemary and garlicky tasting crusty bread, or just a cheesy and maybe like spicy bread as well. So this is going in the oven. All right, this bread is done. Look at that. Crusty. That's magic. I'm gonna let the bread rest, and then we're gonna have it with some pumpkin soup or squash soup because it's a variety of pumpkin. But it's gonna be so good with some butter and some soup. By the way, I'm making a harvest roasted squash soup that I will share that recipe also on YouTube, but I have to cut into this bread. And I got this truffle butter from ShopRite. I don't know if it's any good, but I love truffle and this bread is calling for this butter. Let me taste one side without the butter. So good. I think I'm gonna start my own bakery. This butter is so good. Bread is done, ready for dinner. Delicious. Now let me know in the comments below if you tried this recipe and if it worked out for you. I'm sure it's not gonna disappoint. And if you have any questions, also share in the comments and I would love to help you make this delicious bread.